What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 40K Cafe, and thank you, Kayvaan for the request. The story of the chapter master of the Raven Guard, Kayvaan Shrike, would begin on his birth planet, Kayvaan. Like many of the youth there that are born into the streets and slums, he would be part of one of the gangs of Kayvaan, and this would make up most of his adolescence all the way up until his teenage years. While a teenager, he would find himself on the run from a rival gang, evading them for up to a week while eliminating pursuers that got too close. Amidst the game of cat and mouse, Shrike wasn't just being watched by opposing gang members. The chaplains of the Raven Guard were watching the hunt go down with a keen eye, believing the boy to show some skill of stealth and espionage that would not be unwanted amongst the Raven Guard. Eventually, Shrike would be captured by the opposing gang members, but this wouldn't last long as he would manage to escape and eliminate 3 additional of his captors. And this is finally when the chaplains would step in and quote-unquote rescue Shrike from his pursuers. Albeit unwanted, the chaplains would take him and induct him into the Space Marine project on Deliverance. I feel as though it is now important to say that Kayvaan Shrike is not his original name. He would take up the name Kayvaan Shrike during his induction process. Kayvaan being some kind of honored name that he would take up based off his history while being on Kayvaan, and Shrike in homage to the hunter hawks that were on local mountains. Once inducted, Shrike would quickly rise through the ranks and long past a neophyte, but what would truly gain him the admiration of the Raven Guard would be in 862 M41. During the Targos 8 campaign against the Greenskin, Shrike and his company would find themselves caught behind enemy lines, and it is here in Raven Guard fashion that they would attack from the shadows, eliminating many of the orc forces from behind. Because of his company's efforts, they were able to end the war decades long before the Imperium's predictions. Later on, the Imperial planet Quintus would fall to the forces of chaos and a Daemon Prince. This would be Strike Master Voldorius, and Kayvaan Shrike would be deployed in order to meet the foes head-on. While fighting against the forces of chaos, Kayvaan Shrike would actually be assisted by Corsaro Khan and the Third Company of the White Scars, and together they would repel the Chaos forces and eliminate the Daemon Prince Voldorius. Time would go on, and Kayvaan Shrike, like many Space Marines, would dedicate himself to the Raven Guard and the Imperium, excelling in every battle and bringing victory after victory with his brothers. But tragedy would strike during the Prefectia campaign. Here, the Raven Guard chapter master of the time, Corvin Severax, along with much of the Third Company, would be slain by Commander Shadowsun. In the midst of battle, the Raven Guard would not only lose their chapter master, but almost the entire Third Company, leaving a desperate void in leadership and men that needed replacement. But during this confrontation, Kayvaan Shrike would lead a counterattack against the Tau forces, recovering many of his fallen brothers' gene seed while making the Tau forces pay for their actions. With his history, along with his dedication during the Prefectia campaign, the other Shadow Captains saw no other fit person to lead the chapter, and so Kayvaan Shrike would become the chapter master of the Raven Guard. And although Kayvaan Shrike accepted the new position, for some reason it was foreboding for him. He could never quite get over the loss of the previous chapter master, and he still viewed himself not as a chapter master but rather a company captain. So although he accepted the position, he swore that should a better candidate make themselves known, he would happily step down and turn over the responsibility to them. Amidst the Era Indominus, the Raven Guard would once again find their forces heavily depleted. But with the inclusion of Primaris Marines, as well as the ability to cross the Rubicon, Shrike saw a sort of salvation for the Raven Guard. Although many of the Raven Guard were skeptical at the time, Shrike saw no better opportunity than to put himself forward to bolster the confidence of his troops. Seeing as the procedure was risky, many of the Raven Guard opposed this, saying that it would be unwise to possibly lose 2 chapter masters in such short succession. Despite their warnings, Kayvaan Shrike would ignore them and double down, crossing the Rubicon and emerging stronger than before, to which now, to this day, he uses his new strength to continue to lead the Raven Guard against the enemies of the Imperium. With that being said, thanks again Kayvaan for the request. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.